AfCFTA is Africa's continental free trade area and becomes operational. As the AfCFTA becomes operational, there is no doubt that the agreement will play a major role in driving Nigeria's regional integration and development with significant impact on the economy. The elimination of tariff and non-tariff barriers will enable Nigerian businesses access the continental market for the export of goods and services, as well as secure a balanced and sustainable export base to move the economy from its largely oil and mineral base, boost foreign direct investment, and help improve productivity. As Nigeria prepares to take full advantage of the Continental Agreement, the National Action Committee on the African Continental Free Trade Area, established by the federal government, has commenced a nationwide awareness and sensitization tour with the mandate to coordinate the activities of the private and public sector at the federal and subnational levels to implement the AfCFTA for the benefit of Nigeria and Nigerians. Now, to give more insight into the partnership, of course, and to see how this will work with both governments and both federal and state governments coming together, I have joining me now via Skype. He's a senior special assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on public sector matters, and he also doubles as the secretary of the National Action Committee on AfCFTA, Mr. Francis Anatogu. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Anatogu. I appreciate this.
Thank you very much.
Yes, like I said in my intro, the federal government, you talked about January for the campaign, awareness, and all of that. Now, take us through where we are, how far we've gone with that, before we now go to other issues like the teething problems and all that we need to do to get it right.
Okay, thank you very much. So, essentially, we had started engaging sectors and businesses and even the ministries, departments and agencies on what AfCFTA is about and what it seeks to achieve, and the role of everyone to make sure that AfCFTA succeeds. And come January, when the trade started, we have also started taking the message down to the states. And the idea of taking the message down to the states is really success of AfCFTA will be measured in terms of the amount of jobs that we create and the amount of the growth in our export revenue and all of that. So creating the jobs will happen at the grassroots for it to be very meaningful. And the strategy is to galvanize all states to focus on, and they're already doing that, focus on specific areas where they will try to be number 1 or 2 in Africa. And so far, we have visited 2 states. I'm planning to go to the 3rd state. We have visited, we started with Kaduna State, where we are very glad to note the huge steps that the state has already been taking to grow its economy and create jobs. And then we moved over to Bauchi State, which also has a program to grow rice and other agricultural products, focus on specific mining products like kaolin, and also on tourism and travel and tourism. As you know, Yankari Game Reserve is in Bauchi. So we've covered those 2, and we are now planning to move to other states. The next stop is likely to be Nasarawa, and then we go down to the south, west, southeast, south, and the journey continues.
That's a lot of work. Now, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Anatogu, for the teething problems or what you've seen going around. Do you think, I've asked you this question the last time we spoke in the new year, that our local industry base is strategically positioned and also funded to take advantage of the opportunities in this very large market that we talk about?
Okay, so, and like I answered it the last time, the very first thing is to get people to actually think Africa and actually start to explore the Africa market. Now, we cannot, where we are, conceptualize the solution to all the problems that we have, but we are known for our resourcefulness. We are known for our ingenuity. Now, mobilizing the private sector, the businesses to start thinking Africa, what that does is that they now start thinking of the solutions. And like I also told you when we met the last time, there are already businesses that are growing and expanding in Africa. Our Nollywood went into Africa way before we signed the AfCFTA agreement. Transportation industry, our banking sector, and the fintech subsector. These are all sectors that are already going into Africa. Even in the goods area, foods, agricultural products are already going into Africa. What we are trying to do is to scale, is to grow our production, be more deliberate. What we are also trying to do with AfCFTA is to solve some of the issues. One of which is the quality infrastructure, making sure that we reduce the number of rejects of our products due to not meeting standards. So there's the education part, there's the hand-holding to market, there's the also the investments that need to happen. And like I also mentioned the last time, this is a long-term program. If you talk about, even in terms of the teething problems, you say yes, officially trade has started under AfCFTA, but even as we speak at ECOWAS level, we are putting all our arrangements in place to ensure that the actual trading starts. The products that will be liberalized has been agreed at ECOWAS level and is being looked at African Union level. The way the registration and a couple of other things, the way people will be registered, how you get the certificate of origin, and all of that. These are all actions that are work in progress at ECOWAS level, for instance. So there are several administrative steps, there are several practical steps, there are several operational steps that we need to take at the public sector level, at the private sector level. But like I said, it is a marathon. This agreement will determine how we trade over the next 10, 20, 30 years.
It's key. Nigeria cannot be left out in this emerging $3.4 trillion economic bloc. Now, another thing is what we should be doing to play the leading role in negotiations and fine-tuning the lines of implementation. We also see issues around higher tariffs and levies that may deter African trade. How do we work all of this side by side? What sort of discussions should we be having at this time? And I also want to confirm, or we heard from research, that Ghana has freighted its first cargo.
Okay, well, symbolic cargo, I would say, because as we speak, 3 out of the 15 ECOWAS countries are yet to ratify the AfCFTA agreement. And ECOWAS is a customs union, so there are implications in that respect.
Okay.
So really, these are conversations that are going on because you need all the 15 countries to ratify to ensure that we are going in as a customs union. So really, yes, some countries are ahead compared to others, but at the end of the day, we are moving as a bloc, as an ECOWAS bloc, and what we do will have to work we work in unison, if you will. In terms of, we talked about tariff. The tariffs won't all drop out on day one. For us in ECOWAS, the tariff reduction will happen over a 10-year period. For us in Nigeria, being a big market, what is even more important to us is access to the non-tariff, reducing the non-tariff barriers, because that's where we can unlock the most value. Reducing that non-tariff barriers at home means that we need to get our ports working, we need to get our transportation working, and so on. And there are projects, there are committees, tackling these issues. We need to get our power working. These are major programs that are ongoing. And in transportation now, what was unthinkable years ago, like the standard gauge rail, is a reality, and it's going. So really, the train has left the station, and a lot of things that the government has been doing, focusing on infrastructure, even before AfCFTA started, are the things that we need to get into Africa and win. The other thing that we now also need to start focusing on is growing our brand, so that we need to be known to stand for something. Some products, when you say this is made in Nigeria, like our, for instance, that this stands for quality. If you talk just the same way, if you talk about Nigerian music, you talk about Nigerian music, Nigerian movies, and so on. So, and that also tells you that various sectors would grow. Some are arrowheads moving ahead, others will follow.
All right, I spoke to the Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria last week, Seshegun Kadiri, and he spoke on the fact of, just like what you mentioned, infrastructure and all of the challenges to make them competitive so that they can actually play in this market. Now, you talked about the liberalized goods. How soon do we expect that the release of that list? That's one. And also, stakeholders still say they are viewing the agreement. I'm talking about manufacturers here and some private sector guys. Are you engaging them?
Oh, sure. We are engaging them. We've been engaging since August. They've been part of the series of engagements we've had. Sensitization, obviously, due to COVID-19, we had to do a lot via virtually. They were part of the sensitization on the agreement. They were part of the strategy workshops, and we've had, apart from having a general workshop, we had sector by sector workshop. And in fact, the manufacturing workshop happened over four days, looking at each subsector under manufacturing, and there are 12 subsectors. Beyond that, we are also part of their own sensitization of their members. They are doing a lot to get their members up to speed. They are doing a lot to handhold their members. So yes, there's a lot of engagement, and even as we bringing it back to the subnational program, when we went to Kaduna, when we went to Bauchi, yes, we had a conversation with the governors and the executive team on the straight strategies for AfCFTA, but we also had engagement session with the stakeholders, the Chambers of Commerce, the Manufacturers Association, the Traders Association, and the civil society as well. So all of them were part of the people that we engaged to bring the message of AfCFTA. And it was very fruitful, asking very, very practical questions, and we're giving answers. And indeed, we will keep engaging and continue to answer questions and until things are clarified for people. But the first step, and I think we're making good progress on that, is creating that awareness, getting people excited, and telling people that actually you can do this because others have done it. We've come across a lot of Nigerian businesses that are already exporting to Africa. Be it shoes, be it leather products, be it food products, you name it. It's already happening. What we're trying to do is, encourage others. In fact, even as we're speaking, we have a program that we are thinking through. How do we get SMEs? How do we aggregate SMEs to provide services? Grow that value chain in country, so that even as we are moving out to Africa, we are moving out at scale. There's an ongoing, even as we're going to states, in parallel, we are engaging the transportation sector. The sector has defined for itself that transportation can be the hub, Nigeria can be the hub for transportation in Africa. And we're looking at issues around both in the maritime, how do we get the fleet to move products to Africa? What should be the route? What products are we going to move? So all these conversations are happening. Also important is that the conversation that started at transportation level now moved on to getting the manufacturers and starting to talk about, okay, so how do we get those products into Africa, warehouses and what have you that we need to get into the target markets to be able to sell. So all these are happening as we speak.
Okay, I know you've talked about some of this, but I also see that this AfCFTA is kind of anchored on institutional frameworks, the Assembly, the Council of Ministers, and the Committee of Senior Trade Officials and the Secretariat. For whoever wants to key into this, can you take us through the workings of all of this, the value chain? How does this process, take us through the process?
Okay, so I mean, what you have is the normal ECOWAS structure. What you mentioned is the normal ECOWAS decision-making structure, and it is clearly stated in the agreement itself, which is available on our website, ndrafcfta.gov.ng. And essentially, you have at the negotiation level, you have negotiating forum. Then you have the Council of Ministers, and then that takes it to the heads of state. Now, in terms of implementation, you have something similar. You've got the subcommittees for trading goods, trading services, and so on. And then you have also the Council of Ministers, the senior trade officials, the Council of Ministers, and it all goes all the way to the African heads of state. So that is the structure. Now, the only addition is that you now also have an AfCFTA secretariat, which is located in Ghana, and which is where everything AfCFTA happens. But with a Secretary General that coordinates at the African level, similar to what we are doing at the national level. So that's essentially the structure.
Okay.
The other question he asked, how do people key into it? So really it's about, so for us to get information on AfCFTA, like I mentioned, our website, we have information there, but you also have the chambers of commerce, you have the industry associations, and there's a lot you can read up as well. The important thing is understand that this agreement exists, understand that this opportunity exists. You need to, there are some work that, businesses need to do. They need to see themselves in Africa. They need to define their strategy, the products that they want to sell in Africa, and so on. Do their own market research, and then take the plunge. And just like I said, the businesses are already doing this. Yeah. So it's a matter of seeing the opportunity, understanding it, and then getting started. And we can help you, and the industry associations can help. And the various MDAs, that is ministries, departments, and associations and agencies can help, be the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, or the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, and a whole list of and the Nigerian Customs Service as well. All the normal channels of engagement with government are carried along, so they can also provide information on the AfCFTA and how to get started. We are really trying to make sure that everyone is coordinated. It's not easy, we're not there yet, but we are making an effort to make sure that we all coordinate. And like I said, and I'll repeat, it's about creating jobs. We need
that aspect is very key. I see it happening a lot. Fintech, the ICT space, and all of that. I see the optimism in your submission. What's your forecast in terms of expansion of growth? What do you think? Where do you think we'll see Nigeria in all of this? Okay, we could put it short, medium, and long term.
So in the immediate term is to get trade started, and having the platforms for trade to start, and for people to be able to ask questions and get answers on the trade, which should happen in this quarter. And then our strategy for to succeed under AfCFTA, the first version, would also be out this quarter as well. Then we're working with the states, and we expect that we should cover all the states by end of the year, at least get the first set of states ready with their strategies and start to run. And then these are really things getting started moves. In all this translating into jobs and into growth in our export revenue, will start seeing in the medium to long term, because like I said, the maximum the trade reduction will happen this year is 10%. So it happens 10 by 10% every year until for the next 10 years. So it will take a couple of years for this to shine through. But all the focus on the competitiveness projects, which is happening as the Presidential Enabling Business Council, the NEPSA and others are also happening as we speak. So all these things will start to happen in the medium term. The competitiveness will start to manifest in the next couple of years, 1, 2, 3 years, like that.
All right, Mr. Francis, I will hope to also have you on the show to bring us up to speed with all of these developments as they unfold. We thank you very much for spending your afternoon with us. SSA to President Buhari of Public Sector Matters. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.